Hello, everybody. This is Ala 13 Coca-Cola. I'm going to do this video because I think I found a very interesting bug in the Boeing 247, and this is a bug you can actually fix very easily, so it's not going to stop you flying it. In fact, it's a bug that is difficult to see or is difficult to detect unless specific situations, specific circumstances. Okay. I have the plane switched off completely, and I'm going to. This bug is related to the functioning and the battery. I have been doing several testing, and the variables that. Okay, let me explain how this thing works. This plane has a battery, which I think is located in the right wing, and it has a generator which is located in the left nacelle, and this is in the manual. Okay, so once you start the plane and start the left engine, the generator in the left engine is going to produce electricity to recharge the battery. And in order to monitor all this process, you have this indicator here that tells you that if the battery is charging, if the needle is to the right, or the battery is decharging and the needle is to the left. Okay, I read all the. Okay, I'm using for monitor all these things a program called Axis and OS. Axis and OS, let me start it, allows me to monitor different variables within the simulator and also variables of the local variables of the plane. So if the plane has variables that are not the ones from the system, it will allow me also to check on them and see if there is anyone that controls and overrules the simulator variables. Okay, I check, and the plane uses the simulator variables to monitor the charging, the load, and the status of the battery. So I can monitor them. This is Axis and OS main principal thing, and they have this thing here. You can see it here in where is it? Sorry, scripting. That it allows me to read the local variables, and also I can watch one simulator variable. I can select a variable, even a local one, or all the variables here, and monitor them. Because it's very small, I created a small gouge. Okay, I created a small gouge here, and we're going to monitor the battery boost amperage, the voltage, the capacity, and the battery load. At this state, the plane is switched off, the battery is disconnected, therefore the capacity is 100, is max. The battery load is 0 because nothing is taking electricity from the battery. And the voltage, which is the same provided with the manual, is 13.2. In flight, it goes to 12, which is the normal one. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch off the main battery, and you'll see that there's a small load. It should be 0.4. I don't know why is something I left. This is off. I probably have left something on from the previous flight. Let me check upstairs. Yeah, the light for this. Oh, but that's not using. This is off. Power off. How weird. It should be 0.4. Let me check the battery load. Something I left. Something small I left on, but I cannot see. Anyway, should be slightly less, but let's leave with this because it's not going to make any difference. Oh yeah, this. 0.4, the cabin light. Okay, as you can see, any element I click on the cabin that requires electricity, it takes a load on the battery and it starts discharging it. there is always a small marginal amount of electricity being dragged, being taken from the battery. Okay. In theory, all these systems can be, all this drainage of the battery can be counteracted once we have started the engine. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to start the engine. I have, for some reason, I don't have fuel in them, and it's surprising because I was doing testing, but I switch off the engine before doing anything. So I prefer to only use this and this, so I don't have to handle 3. Okay, let's charge the fuel, and in the meantime, it handles the fuel. I'm going to open the mixture. Check that the propellers are high. Yeah, all the levels down. I'm going to open the pumps. Left engine, tank. I'm going to wait until it's finished. It's refilling the tank. Okay, I have to open the other one that I think is refilling the right main. So because we are using the left and it's already full, let's start pumping the left engine because it's the only one, and suddenly a plane is landing somewhere strange there. Okay, weird. Okay, let's pump the fuel. No sound, I got a bug. Propellers, throttle. Okay, and let's open magnetos on the starter. See if he has finished. And start left engine. So far, the battery is in the minimum. I can install the lights, for example, the external lights, and you see the load in the battery goes to 2.3. Okay, engine starter. We are going to start just the engine, the left engine, because it's the one in which has the generator. So let's start until everything gets stable and gets some electricity. And if you can see here, once the RPMs start to build, we will see how this needle moves from the left. You can see it now to the 0 and to the right. This is the I don't know the name in English, an or whatever, which is telling you how the system is working. And if the needle goes to the right, that means the battery is recharging, and if the battery is to the left, it means that the battery is discharging. The battery load here indicates a positive figure if the load of the battery is too much, so the battery is discharging, and a negative figure if the battery is charging. And you can also see that the number of the capacity of the battery is getting diminished. Okay? So you can see that even if the needle here doesn't, works, go left and right, getting more or less RPMs, we don't see any changes in the battery load, which is not what is expected. And this is not a big problem if you're doing 1 or 2 hour flight in ideal conditions, because yesterday, for example, I did a 2-hour flight with this plane, and I was monitoring this, and when I ended my flight of 2 hours and I used the landing lights for taking off. You see the load is quite big, but it was daytime. Well, I used the courtesy lights for, I mean the no smoking and seatbelt lights, and also the courtesy lights. I didn't need to use the pitot, neither the cabin lights, but you see the decrease of the battery capacity is very slow. So in a 2 hours flight, when I finished my flight, the battery capacity was at 50% approximately. So it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big deal. However, it made me thinking, what is the reason why the plane is not refilling the battery, even if it says here it is? And I thought that it'd be because the developers forgot that even if you don't build a generator in the plane, the simulator understands the plane has a generator, and it positions this generator in its off position when you start the plane from cold and dark. So the simulator of it takes. So this plane does not have the generator on, even if exists, and you can read it here. It has it off. So what I did is I link one button to the here in the assistant, sorry, not in the assistant, in the general options. I took one of my controllers, went to controllers, sorry, go to controllers, and in my quadrant, this button, I assign it to electrics, alternator on and alternator off. Okay, so let's go back on what happened when I press that button up. So look at here the battery load. So I'm going to start the generator now. Boom. And now you can see that the battery load is charging. So the engine is being charged. And if we increase the power of the engine and the RPMs, the battery load, and suddenly the battery starts charging again. So this is very interesting, and if we switch it off, it's going down again. Up and down. You see? So what it's telling me is it's a bug, because obviously this plane should have by default the generator on, but it can be counteracted just linking one button to that particular system, and remember to switch it on as a checklist. It's a pity that you have a remainder in cabin, so you have to rely on this, or in, I mean, the best thing is putting one button, one position on and one position off, and remember to switch it on every time you start a flight. As I said, normally in a 2-hour flight it's not going to be a big deal because the battery is big enough to allow you to fly without a generator. But if you need a lot of electrical systems, or you forgot your landing lights that are very, very demanding, and you forgot them, you see, and then it's night, and then you have all the lights, and it's winter, and you need also the pitot, and you are with the radios, all the radio stats, and you need the radio to navigate through the night, and the light to see what you're going. You see, the battery load can increase enormously, and it needs at least the generator and full engine . to counteract the discharge of the battery. You see, it's still discharging because you have a lot of load, but with everything on and not the landing lights, you see, is again charging the battery. So this is the video I wanted to show what happened and how to counteract this bug. I hope you find it interesting. I made the video in English. I normally do it in Spanish because I want this video to reach as much possible audience, so we can still keep flying this fantastic airplane. This bug doesn't break at all the immersion or the enjoyment of flying that fantastic machine. Okay, that's all for me. I see you in the next video.